From the tall windows of a Boston high-rise, Emily Hartwell gazed at the city as it transformed into autumn's masterpiece. The trees along the Charles River were brushed with red and gold, the streets lined with crisp leaves that danced in the wind. Beyond the busy traffic and honking horns, she felt a sense of quiet satisfaction. Her office, perched high above the skyline, reflected the success she had worked tirelessly for. The polished wooden desk gleamed under the afternoon light, her awards and certificates neatly arranged on the shelves, a silent testament to the decade she had dedicated to Nova Technologies. Emily allowed herself a deep breath, one filled with pride. The major project her team had been battling over for months had finally taken off, and even the CEO had recognized her work. "Emily, your work is outstanding. I'll be putting you on the list for promotion next year." Those words from Marion Taylor, the formidable CEO, echoed in Emily's mind. Recognition from someone so respected wasn't just praise, it was validation. Her 10 years of endless hours, countless sacrifices, and sleepless nights had been worth it. "Thank you," Emily had said at the time, her voice calm though her heart was racing. Now, with the Thanksgiving holiday beginning tomorrow, she thought of something else entirely, her family. It was time for her annual return to the Hartwell home. After clearing the last few emails on her desk, she picked up her phone and dialed her mother's number. "Mom, I'll be leaving soon. I'm bringing my homemade cranberry sauce again this year." Her mother's voice warmed her through the receiver, soft and reassuring. "Oh, Emily, your cranberry sauce is the best. Drive safely, dear. Jessica and the children are already buzzing about seeing you." Emily smiled. That voice, ever since her father John's sudden passing 3 years ago, had become the anchor of what remained of their family. His death had left a hole, but it also seemed to tighten the threads between mother and daughters. After leaving the office, Emily drove back to her apartment. She carefully loaded her luggage and the cranberry sauce into the trunk of her sleek silver sedan. It was a simple dish, but for her, it was tradition, a way of keeping the family connected. The drive to suburban Newton was only about 40 minutes without traffic, yet it felt like crossing between two worlds. Boston's energy slowly gave way to quiet streets lined with maple trees, children playing outside, and houses glowing with warm porch lights. As she drove, Emily's thoughts drifted. Since college graduation, she had been the steady pillar holding her family together. Her father's funeral expenses, her mother's colon cancer treatments, Jessica's college tuition, the down payment on their home, and even her sister's lavish wedding, every milestone had been carried on Emily's shoulders. That adds up to over $800,000, she thought, almost calculating out of habit, a fortune by most standards, but she never resented it. For her, it was love, it's family, so of course, she reminded herself with a soft nod. When she finally parked in front of the familiar Hartwell home, the front door swung open. Her mother, Martha, and her younger sister, Jessica, rushed out, smiles stretched wide. "Emily, we've been waiting." Her mother's arms wrapped around her tightly, as though holding her firstborn close made everything right again. "Big sis," Jessica squealed, throwing herself into the hug. The three stood at the entrance, wrapped together in warmth and laughter. "Mom, Jessie, I'm so happy to see you," Emily whispered to herself, savoring the moment. Inside the living room, Emily noticed at once the new leather sofas and the enormous flat-screen TV her mother had long dreamed of owning. She felt her chest warm with pride. It was the gift she had sent last month for Martha's birthday. "It looks lovely, Mom," she said, admiring the cozy new setup. "All thanks to you." Martha's eyes grew misty. "Without you, I don't know what would have become of us." Jessica linked her arm through Emily's and led her toward the kitchen, her voice bubbling with excitement. "It's such a blessing to have you, sis. We were able to start the children's education insurance, and Mike's job has stabilized, too." Emily's gaze softened when she saw Jessica's children. Emma, 5, and Noah, 3, played with toy blocks in the corner, their laughter filling the air. The instant they spotted their aunt, their little faces lit up. "Aunt Emily, do you have presents?" Emma shouted, rushing forward. "Emma, that's not polite," Jessica scolded lightly. Emily chuckled, kneeling down to embrace them. "It's okay. Of course I brought something, but that's for tomorrow's surprise." Later, After games and laughter with the children, Emily tied on an apron and joined her mother in the kitchen. While she prepared the turkey stuffing, Martha gently brushed a hand over her daughter's cheek. "You've lost weight, haven't you? You're working too hard. Emily, think about yourself a little more." "I'm fine, Mom. I love my job, it's fulfilling," Emily replied with a smile. "Still no boyfriend?" Martha teased, her tone curious but gentle. Emily shook her head. "I'm focusing on my career right now." She let the words trail off. The truth was more complicated. Nearly all her time and energy had gone into supporting her family. Romance, relationships, dreams of marriage, all had been quietly set aside in the name of duty. Martha squeezed her hand, her expression suddenly serious. "Don't worry so much about us. I want you to be happy, too." Emily returned the smile, though a faint ache tugged at her heart. "I am happy, Mom. Seeing my family healthy and well, that's my happiness." That evening, as dinner filled the table, the family gathered. The turkey glistened golden brown, bowls of mashed potatoes and roasted vegetables steaming beside it. Jessica's husband, Mike, raised his glass with gratitude. "Without you, Emily, the children's future would have been uncertain. Thank you so much." Emily lifted her own glass, the smile on her face calm and steady. "That's what family is for." Emily stood frozen in the hallway, her back pressed against the wall as if it were the only thing keeping her upright. Her breath caught in her throat, shallow and uneven. The voices from the kitchen carried through the silence of the house, so casual, so cruel. "Mom, I'm thinking." Jessica's voice floated out, tinged with amusement. "She still doesn't realize she's our breadwinner." A soft laugh followed, unmistakably her mother's. "That's right. Even though she bought the house and the car, she still thinks she's just being helpful." Emily's fingers curled into fists, her nails biting into her palms. She almost gasped, but the sound stuck in her throat, strangled by disbelief. Her knees trembled so violently she feared they might give way. "We were really lucky," Martha continued, her tone filled with satisfaction. "Who would have thought she'd become so successful? Thanks to her, we can live comfortably." "Yes," Jessica chimed in, a mocking lilt in her voice. "Imagine getting $40,000 when there's no need for roof repairs." Emily's heart lurched. The roof? She had promised just yesterday to cover the cost. A sharp breath escaped her lips, unheard under their laughter. Had that been a lie, too? "With that $40,000, we can finally take our Bahamas trip," Martha said lightly. "Just tell Emily it's for roof repairs and she'll be fine. She never comes to check." Emily's vision blurred. The words cut deeper than any blade. She pressed her trembling hands against the wall, desperate to steady herself. "How much have we squeezed out of her so far?" Jessica asked. "At least $1 million, I would think," Martha replied without hesitation. "Half of her salary is ours." Their laughter rang out, cruel and echoing, bouncing through the walls of the home Emily had thought was filled with love. The sound splintered something inside her. For a brief second, Jessica's voice softened. "But don't you sometimes feel guilty?" Her mother's reply was sharp as ice. "What are you saying? She's a daughter of the Hartwell family. Supporting family is only natural. Besides, she gladly gives money. Just say, for the family, and she'll hand it over anytime." A pause. Then Jessica's voice, obedient, submissive. "True. Thanks to Emily, we can live such a wonderful life." Emily's body turned cold. Her heart, once bursting with affection for them, now felt like solid stone. With slow, unsteady movements, she set the dessert wine she had been holding onto the table by the hallway. Her fingers slipped slightly from the moisture on the glass. Then, fighting the sob that clawed at her throat, she reached for the doorknob. Tears streamed down her cheeks, hot against the chill settling into her bones. The outside air hit her like a slap, bright and sharp. She squinted against the afternoon light, blinking rapidly. But the world around her had shifted. Nothing looked the same. The house behind her, her so-called family's sanctuary, no longer felt like home. It was a stage, and she had been their fool. She stumbled to her car, her legs heavy, her body drained. Opening the door, she collapsed into the driver's seat and gripped the steering wheel with both hands, her forehead pressed against the cool leather. And for a long moment, she didn't move. 10 years, it was all a lie, she whispered, her voice breaking. Her mind reeled. Images spinning like a cruel slideshow, her father's funeral, the nights spent holding her mother's hand for chemotherapy, the tuition checks for Jessica, the down payment she had wired for the house. Each memory had once been bathed in love, sacrifice, and pride. Now they felt poisoned. Had it all been planned? Her phone slipped from her bag into her lap. With shaking fingers, she typed a message to her mother. Something urgent came up, and I won't be able to come today. I'm sorry. She hit send, then quickly silenced the device. She couldn't bear to hear their voices again, not now, maybe not ever. The engine roared to life beneath her trembling hands. As she pulled away from the driveway, Emily glanced into the rear-view mirror. The Hartwell home, once a symbol of warmth and loyalty, now stood like a monument of deception. Her jaw tightened. I won't be deceived again, she murmured, each word carrying more weight than the last. Tears burned her eyes, but alongside the sorrow was something unfamiliar, something sharp and alive. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was resolve. As the city lights of Boston grew nearer, anger and grief twisted together inside her chest. Yet beneath the pain, Emily felt the faint stirrings of something new, freedom. The veil had been lifted, the chains of blind loyalty had broken. For the first time in years, she was not just a provider, not just their savior. She was Emily Hartwell, and her life, her future, no longer belonged to them.